Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to some woke TikToks that I've seen on YouTube. There's some people on the Daily Wire who do similar things like this, so this is kind of a inspiration to what they do. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, so make sure to subscribe and like the video, and yeah, I'll just get right into it.
What the hell is even that?
I'm Cody, pronouns em, ers, or zem, zers, or really any neo-pronouns that aren't z, her, hers. I am a white, transmasculine, femme, non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian Universalist, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic.
So, hang on, so there's this person, right? And I guess they're trans or something like that, non-binary, and they have all these labels that I don't even know what all of them even mean. I mean, what is a Unitarian Universalist? Maybe I should know that, I don't know. But temporarily mostly able-bodied, I mean, what's that supposed to mean? I mean, bloody hell, it's just goes on and on the list.
Gray demi-bisexual survivor of acute and complex trauma,
Grey demi-bisexual, right? So I think from what I remember, the demisexual thing's meant to be like you only like people who you're like romantically involved with or something like that. I still think that's stupid anyway, but I think that's what it means. But grey demi-bisexual, I mean, does there have to be a label for every little minute thing? It's just to make them feel special, because there'll be no one else in the world who like identifies as this, but they have to have like this one label that like describes them, So you have to make it clear that they're this random thing, and because they believe it, they're part of this like marginalized group, and then they get all this sympathy from society, or they're supposed to. And yeah, it gives them all this like elite status in their minds. So obviously they're going to do stuff like this.
and cat parent in mental health recovery.
I approve of that. Cat parent, definitely.
Do you see this person next to me? E is
No.
my friend. C has had to put up with a lot to get
Who
to
is
where Per
E?
is today. I just want to let Glint know that
Glint?
Thon is valid, that ver pronouns are valid, and that Sarah identity is valid.
Their pronouns are not valid. They don't even follow like basic English grammar. I don't know what she's even talking about. I mean, their glit. I mean, if someone came up to me and or someone was talking to me and referring to me as glit or pear, I'd be offended. I mean, I don't know what this person thinks she's talking about, but I mean, the whole neo-pronoun thing anyway is a bit stupid in my opinion. I mean, the pronoun thing in general is, but the neo-pronoun thing even more. But I mean, do people literally go out in public and expect normal people to talk like this? I mean, you do what you want to, but there's no way in hell I'm going to be referred to someone as whatever she just said.
Ace flux. So ace flux is your person. They're going to fluctuate between asexuality and allosexual. So like
Seriously. What's with the
it's your
nose
person
wine?
that one day they could be like fully asexual, and then the next it could totally change. So this is a person.
So now we're going full on stereotypes. So now we're saying we can change our sexuality whenever we want. We can change it day by day, hour by hour. Is that what we're saying? So what happened to this whole thing about you could your sexuality is natural, that is something that you're born with, is something that you can't change, and then you get this like lived out person who's saying, oh, well, I can switch my sexuality like that, and because I can do that, I must be a different sexuality than everyone else. So, you have to call me this new label that I've just invented, which is stupid because, again, it's perpetuating the stereotype that was around in like the 70s, 80s, and even now, that it's a choice when it isn't. But these people who aren't even part of the community are trying to pretend they are, and by doing so, recreating that stereotype. Making that thing come back again, um, which is just stupid. They think that they're helping the community, but all they're doing is damaging it
Whose
more and
sexuality is
more.
going to fluctuate on a daily basis. One day they could have crushes on somebody. One day they could be sexually attracted to somebody in some form or degree. And the next day they could be completely just not interested, not want.
It's not just like a flaky person. It's not a sexuality. It's just someone who is flaky. I
Anything to
don't.
do with.
I
So
don't
this is your
understand.
person that's going to be asexual one day and some form or degree of sexual the next.
Nobody needs you to advocate for how difficult it is to use gender-neutral pronouns. Nobody said that the gender binary was easy. These are not my preferred pronouns. These are my pronouns. You will use them, or you will not refer to me.
So how are you going to exactly control that? So if I call you she, which I'm going to not do so that I don't get in trouble, if I was to refer to you as something that isn't on this video, um, how would you even know? Because they're pronouns. You wouldn't be around at that point, to hear. And additionally, at least in the UK, the gender binary is recognized as a protected class, whereas these made-up genders like non-binary, gender fluid, the rest of them, you guys all know what I'm talking about. Um, the UK Parliament actually dismissed legislation that would include them as a recognised gender. So there's not technically a legal requirement in the UK to adhere to them. So I will not use them,
At
respectfully.
all. If you misgender me by mistake, fix it and move on. I don't need your elaborate apology. I don't care how many times you say sorry. Just don't do it again. Moreover,
I don't care how many times you tell me to address you in a certain way, I am not going to do it, except on here because I kind of have to. But in day-to-day life, I would not do so, and there's nothing you can do to
if
force that
someone
on me.
else misgenders me, it is never your job to tell them that it's okay. 'Cause it isn't. I get it. The discussion of the gender spectrum confuses you, and that's fine. But if you don't know anything about it, don't
There's no gender spectrum.
Story time. This has been my first year in preschool with a class of my own, teaching alongside another queer neurodivergent educator, and we have been rocking our twos class. We've been talking about gender and skin color and consent and empathy and our bodies and autonomy.
Does this not worry people? So you're talking about consent, which I'm assuming it's something to do with sexual consent, to 2-year-olds. I mean, why is that conversation happening with 2-year-olds in the first place? Is that not a bit suspicious? I mean, should children really be exposed to that type of information at that young age? It's kind of scary in America how some teachers are doing this and how they're teaching these things to children who, they aren't the parents of, and putting in these 100% politicized views into their heads. They're effectively indoctrinating them to believe a left-wing ideology, and I just don't think it's right. I mean, I do agree with some conversation on equality and treating people fairly, but there's a certain way to do that, especially with 2-year-olds. And discussion of sexual consent should not be a part of that.
It's been fabulous. fabulous. So today at the lunch table, when the topic of gender and genitals came up,
Why is
one
that
of our
coming up in the
students
first place?
plainly looked up and said, "Well, I'm a girl today, but I know that teacher Co isn't. No, they're NB." And the look on the incoming teacher's face was priceless. She was shocked in a good way, and she just looked around
I
at the
doubt
two
it
of
was a
us and
good
said,
way.
"This class is incredible, and I am so impressed."
Seriously? Yeah, indoctrination successful. I mean, these are the people who are teaching the kids of America. These are the people who are growing up to look after society in the future. These are the people who are getting taught by. This is like the future of society because governments aren't taking enough steps to stop people like this. So I think I'll leave the video at that. So I've reacted to some woke TikToks. There's some more on this video I can react to if you guys enjoy this. So let me know and I'll make a part 2. I hope you will join me for another video next week. And yeah, make sure to subscribe and like the video. And I'll see you next time. Bye.